Holy, I need less bikes. Let's talk about why we're selling our Super73 RX. Well, first of all, my wife gave this to me. I knew I wasn't going to be a fan of it much. Personally, like the S2 more aesthetically, and just for me, like the S2 and like the ZX. The S2 and the Z1 kind of knows what they are. You know, they're scrambler style. They only have front suspensions, if that. To me, the RX is like a bike that's a wannabe adventure bike, or like a wannabe off-road, but it's not really. Not, scrambler style. E-bikes, I've mentioned before, are not really off-roady. These are our adventure e-bikes. This is what we use on our trails, off-roading, jumps, and all that mountain biking fun stuff. But let's take this one for a spin. Before I take pictures of it, I'm going to be listing it shortly. Look at the difference in terms of seat height. It's almost like a 6-inch difference between this bike and this bike. And we're not tall people. I'm only 5'7", and my wife is 5 foot tall. And I kind of like the idea of being real low to the ground in terms of scrambler style e-bikes. But let's take the RX for a spin. Don't get me wrong, guys. This bike is a ton of fun. Let's get a good look of this bike. Let's do some jumps a little bit. Whew. That was fun. Let's talk about it a little bit more in depth. Alright, I added the S2 headlight on it. I like the S2 light look a lot more. I had this on Amazon Fairing. It was I think it was $25 to $30. Placed the 2-seater seat here. It's not as comfortable, but on the RX, it's actually fine. I bought this on eBay. It was about $30 to $40. We're selling this bike because we need less bikes. This bike is heavy, one of the heavier e-bikes that we have at 87 to 89 pounds. So she gifted this to me last Christmas. And then I said, as soon as I got my mountain bikes, I'm like, you can have this back because I like my mountain bikes, my Bafang DIY mountain bikes more. So this is technically hers again, but then as soon as I got her into mountain biking, she even said herself that she likes her electric mountain bikes more. So this was not being used as much as we had hoped. Every time we ride this, it feels like such a heavy bike compared to our mountain bikes, something we get used to. Anyhow, Crystal approved to sell this bike. It is a little tall for her. I recommend this bike for probably riders that are 5'3" and up. It's good for heavier set people because of the suspensions. If you can afford it, the RX is a real nice EV machine. It looks pretty sick. Aesthetically, it's popular among consumers. If you ride, I say, 80% pavement, and then maybe sometimes you'll do light off-road trails, this RX is the bike for you. That's what I recommend it for. If you do any more off-roading with steep inclines and switchbacks and bumpy terrain, I don't recommend a scrambler style e-bike. And now that I got my wife and I a Super73 Z1 and an S2, I think that's all we really need for pavement, That's all we really need for pavement. I think that if you're an older rider who can afford this bike and you have back issues, then the RX definitely is a good choice to consider. But man, this bike is just so expensive in my opinion. I never really liked the top of the line items. I don't know, for whatever reason I like to get alternatives, you know? I don't like top of the line things too much. But that's just me. Maybe you could even consider the R. But the R has, I believe, obviously no horn. Is it okay to say hi to kids that said hi to you? Because I remember when I was in school, they tell you not to talk to strangers, and then strangers are not supposed to talk to you through the fence. Because I'd be offering them candy and stuff and whatnot. But that was the old days. If where you live is super bumpy, get the RX. Like for example, like that. Get the R or the RX. It's yeah, it just goes over bumps like okay, even sitting down. With the Z1 and then the Super73 S2, you would definitely like to kind of stand up a little bit, going over bumps and bumpy terrain. This one can take it okay. What else can I say about this bike? Definitely going to miss it. Super amazing. We've definitely had a ton of memories with it, but mainly on pavement, because that, to me, that's what it's for. And if you even, I took it to Fullerton off-road. I took it to Fullerton Loop once, off-roading, and I wouldn't do it again, because my turning ratio, fat tire e-bikes, I don't really recommend on mountain bike trails. These tires are like 4.5 to 5 inch thick, if I remember correctly. And more importantly, the forks themselves do not do big jumps on it. Check this out. The English grammar is terrible. Do not big jump competition and other similar activities. I mean, would you like a bike that has good looking forks only for it to tell you, don't do it, don't do jumps? Alright, so anyhow, that's just my quick vlog today of why we're selling this Super73 RX. Hopefully you've gained some insights on this bike before you purchase it. It's an expensive e-bike, $3,500, and now that I've been just building my own e-bikes, $3,500 it's a lot, plus tax and shipping and what have you. Hopefully by the time you see this video, this bike will be sold already. Only my wife gets top of the line things. As soon as I made her mountain bikes, sometimes it takes her to kind of like feel the bike, and before I've been telling it to her, let's not get the RX. Let's get a mountain bike instead. An electric mountain bike I can do for you. And you know, before I even made her the electric mountain bike, she already bought this RX, so it was too late. As soon as she had like 3 rides with the electric mountain bikes that I built her, she finally realized, you know, like, oh, this electric mountain bike is so much lighter and it's so much easier to control. And at least an electric mountain bike, it's like a really great kind of all-around e-bike, you know, we can take anywhere. The only thing that this fat tire e-bike has over our electric mountain bike is this could go on sand, but how often do you ride on sand anyway? We rarely ride on sand. Anyway, sometimes it takes folks to kind of like test ride each e-bike to kind of find out what's for them. You know, I had a pretty good idea. Anyhow, folks, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully this video is a little bit helpful if you're considering an RX or the other Super 73s. Again, this bike is for pavement. To me, this is a pavement princess, and probably for taller folks, because it's taller than the Super 73 S2, definitely taller than the Z1. I would use it as a pavement commuter if you can afford it, but just know that there are so many other options, such as like the arielrider 52 volts. It's like half the price. The xclass is like half the price of this. Not really half the price, but you know what I mean. It's like at $2,100, and this is like $3,500. So there's definitely other e-bikes to consider. Again, thank you for tuning in. Like and subscribe for more content, guys. Check out my useful links in the description below for additional discounts on your Super 73 or your arielrider e-bikes, or build your own. That's what I recommend. Happy holidays belated. By the time you guys see this video, it's likely that it's already New Year's. See you guys in the next video. Peace.